Internet challenges have always been around since the very early ages of 4chan. They've caused lots of destruction and mayhem throughout the internet and just in real life. These internet challenges plagued lots of people for years to come, and honestly, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Momo was the last we'd ever see of these challenges. But of course, as if 2020 couldn't get any worse, of course there's a new trend that's trying to start the Blue Whale Challenge back up again. That's right. Six Sinners, Jonthan, Galindo, and all this other crap is becoming more and more of a thing on social media. Now, the most prevalent one in recent days has to be the Jonthan Galindo challenge. A lot of people are being misinformed about this, and I feel like it's only right to actually give straight A facts. Today, I will be going over the origins of Jonthan Galindo, what it is, and how you can prevent it. But in order to fully understand this, we're gonna have to go all the way back to the very early days of the Blue Whale Challenge. Now, the Blue Whale Challenge can be traced all the way back to early 2016. Lots of suicides were going on with young children, and they were all linked back to a certain online group on social media called F57. The group was later dubbed the Blue Whale Challenge, and it started appearing all over the internet. The way the Blue Whale Challenge works is that each day you would have a very difficult task to complete, whether it be harming yourself or others. And at the very end of those challenges, you would have to kill yourself no matter what. If you didn't comply to any of these terms, then you would be threatened, harassed, bullied, doxxed, hacked, hunted, stalked, or even killed. The Blue Whale Challenge was huge, and it caused many young, impressionable children to kill themselves. It was a pandemic that went on for nearly a year straight. Many people were also arrested who had partaken in the Blue Whale Challenge. There was hundreds of alleged accidents, and they all happened all over the world. It got to a point where schools had to email students about the challenge, telling them to not partake in it. Constant reminders and alerts on news stations and social media to not partake at all in the Blue Whale Challenge. It was one of the biggest cyber pandemics of all time, but by 2018, it seems as if the sightings of the Blue Whale Challenge were starting to decrease. For a while, it seemed like the Blue Whale Challenge was finally coming to an end. But of course, June 2018 brought with it a new version of the Blue Whale Challenge, in the form of a statue that you may have heard of. That's right, the one and only Momo. Now, videos with Momo have been known to get taken down or just age restricted by YouTube, so to avoid that happening, instead of showing Momo, I'm just gonna show this instead. Now, the interesting thing about the Momo phenomenon is that it actually made a complete U-turn. You see, Momo actually became popular all the way back in July of 2018. The only difference though is that back then, Momo was basically just a creepypasta. Some stories, some weird creepy images, some fan art. Nothing more. It was just a scary little image to scare people and disturb them. The actual challenge and the WhatsApp and all that crap didn't actually happen until around February of 2019. And when I say that Momo became huge again, I mean it. Arguably, Momo is a lot more well known than the Blue Whale Challenge now. Now, explaining the story of Momo is actually kind of anticlimactic. The actual statue itself was just created by a Japanese effects studio, who have also made...
What the fuck is that?
So like I said, before it was just a creepy story, but in February 2019, it really blew up with it being almost like a Blue Whale successor, Blue Whale 2, Electric Killaroo. Basically, what would happen is that on WhatsApp, or just any social media, but primarily WhatsApp, Momo would message you telling you to do horrible things to yourself and family members. It was also reported that hijackings of Peppa Pig episodes and Fortnite videos were being displayed with Momo messages.
Hello. I am Momo. Your worst nightmare. I am gonna kill you. I will kill you.
For a while, it was actually pretty scary, causing many young, impressionable children to kill themselves. You were either on two sides with this whole hoax. You were on the side that already knew about Momo from 2018, or you were on the side that didn't want anything to do with Momo because you were scared. Most people were. Obviously, there are more instances of these challenges like the Six Sinners, but these two are the most notorious ones. Alright, so now that we've talked about the challenges that have become before Jonthan Galindo, let's talk about the actual origins of Jonthan Galindo and who it really is. Now, similarly to Momo, the origins of Jonthan Galindo are actually pretty harmless. It starts in 2012 with a mask maker slash filmmaker, Samuel Canini. Sorry if I'm butchering that last name. He mainly goes by Dusky Sam though on Twitter and online, so for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna call him Sam. It started in 2012 and 2013, when Sam cosplayed as a grungy version of the popular cartoon character Goofy. Apart from the odd repost here or there, these images weren't really that popular amongst the internet. These masks were never intentionally supposed to be disturbing and rather were just made out of boredom. It wasn't just Sam as well, it was also some of his friends too, if you look at the videos and some of the photos. So what about the videos? Well, what you've probably heard on the internet is that these videos were meant to inflict panic attacks on people with anxiety. However, this can be easily debunked by Sam himself, who tweeted that the videos weren't meant to terrorize people and were actually just made out of pure boredom. Of course, some people might find it disturbing, but they weren't made to be disturbing and were instead just made for his own amusement. That being said, I'm sure people who do watch these videos will get disturbed and will have panic attacks, so I'm just gonna warn you right now, if you don't want to see the video, then skip to this point in the video. But if you do want to see the video, then I will play it now.
Hello? Hello, fucker? Yeah, it's me. This is Larry. We're gonna have a hot fucking video. Well, it's not gonna be that hot. It's just gonna be us fucking around. Fuck you. Fucking work. Shit.
I got dipped off now. Ah! Oh, God damn! Ow!
Cut that fucking shit.
The rest of the video is just some random shenanigans that really aren't worth getting into. So I know what you might be thinking. Okay, Thurnos, that makes sense. Just some guy who wanted to do some cosplay, and unfortunately everybody's taking it as some sort of creepy blue whale challenge thanks to trolls. I'm sure that may suck for Sam, seeing his creations be used in such a terrible way that wasn't intended, but overall, it all adds up, right? Well, no. The rabbit hole goes deeper than that. I'm sure you've seen the Instagram stories from Instagram influencer Carlos Name. Well, what if I told you that this Goofy and this Goofy by Sam are two separate people who have no relation to each other? No, really. A few weeks ago, a Mexican Instagram influencer by the name of Carlos Name posted some very strange Instagram stories. These Instagram stories depicted what looked like Jonthan Galindo trying to break into his house. This post confused a lot of his followers, and reasonably so. Now, just by looking at these posts for a second, you can pretty much tell that they're fake. It's really obvious. It's actually kind of funny how try-hardy they are to be scary and spooky, but that didn't stop everybody from believing that he was being broken into. Now, I have to warn you that if you're a baby, then these videos might be a little scary to you, but if you're over the age of 8, then you'll be fine. So yeah, obviously fake. So why? Why post them? Well, my assumption is that he was either looking for attention or he was just bored. I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's fake, and also, Carlos' name is known for sharing really shitty J-Station-esque things on his Instagram posts. So why would this be any different? Now, what's interesting about these posts is that they were actually made June 21st, which is way before this whole thing really took off. So now we've discussed the origins of the videos as well as the Instagram stories. What about the name Jonthan Galindo? Now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know the origin of the name Jonthan Galindo. Some people say it was from the original TikTok account, and some people say it's from the person who started this whole trend. But who really knows for sure? Wait a minute, there's more to this, isn't there? What about the origins of the troll accounts, the whole thing that started this blue whale challenge in the first place? Now, I'm sure some of you already know about the original account back in November of 2019 called Jonthan Galindo on TikTok. This was one of the first sightings of Jonthan Galindo with the goofy images. Now, notoriously, this account only follows two other people on TikTok, two little girls, one in Chile and the other in Arizona. The girls even acknowledge this too. I'd say that accounts didn't really start appearing like rapid fire until around June. I went on Twitter and the first account that I saw was from May 2020. Also, I know that there are accounts from like November and December, but those accounts are obviously just normal accounts that were renamed Jonthan Galindo for fun. Okay, so overall, what we've learned today is that the original images are from Dusky Sam. The Instagram stories from Carlos' name are fake and are also not Dusky Sam. All of the troll accounts have nothing to do with Dusky Sam other than the pictures used, and the origin of the name Jonthan Galindo is currently unknown. Alright, so we've talked about the origins of Jonthan Galindo, but how about we talk about the thing that's really been blowing up recently, and that is the challenge. Now, like I said earlier, the first instance of one of these troll accounts was on November 2019. It was the account on TikTok that followed the two girls. But troll accounts didn't really start popping up everywhere until June. Around late June, after Carlos' name's Instagram stories, the accounts started to pop up everywhere. So what do these troll accounts even do? Well, basically, what these troll accounts are doing is they're trying to bring back the Blue Whale Challenge. So what these accounts will do is they'll often DM you on Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram. Supposedly, some accounts on Discord have been popping up too. What these accounts will do is they'll ask if you want to play a game. If you say yes, they'll make you do horrible things like eat razor blades or kill your family members or kill yourself. If you didn't comply to any of these rules, then the user would threaten to dox you, hack you, or find your IP. Already lots of people have died because of this challenge, and it's really sad. And I understand that children are impressionable, but at this point, shouldn't they know better? Don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the people who killed themselves over this are complete idiots, because that's just incredibly rude. But this is the third time that this has happened, and Momo was a huge thing that a lot of kids knew about, so the fact that they would still believe one of these things, even though it's just Momo, is kind of disappointing. But I digress. Now, interestingly enough, a lot of these accounts are actually just troll accounts. What I mean by that is that they're not actually trying to DM people to kill themselves, and rather they just post really mediocre memes or political stuff. A lot of them actually say don't kill yourself with suicide prevention hotlines. Don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people like to scare people or fearmonger them, or just they like to goof around. Get it? Goof. But I mean, come on, seriously, using a Jonthan Galindo account to promote suicide hotlines, that's such a huge contradiction. Now, most of these accounts often have a different picture of the Goofy cosplay with some variation of the name Jonthan Galindo. These accounts either post memes, political stuff, or if they're a genuine account, then they'll post really cryptic stuff. Now, seeing how this topic has become pretty much completely mainstream, these accounts are starting to disappear at a rapid pace, which I'm sure is a good thing, although I can't guarantee that it's not gonna come back in the future. Now, with these troll accounts comes a lot of scared people who don't really know what they're doing, and that's been happening a lot recently. The amount of sheer misinformation and just complete idiotic statements have been rapid, which is why I'm just gonna have to debunk some of these completely idiotic statements. Now, perhaps the biggest one of these is the Jonthan Galindo is arrested theory. I'm just gonna say it flat out, he's not arrested. First off, this article from Flawdy, I tried looking it up all over the place, and I could not find any single piece of evidence to support this. I couldn't find the article itself, probably because he didn't link it in the description, and overall, there was just no actual reports of a Jonthan Galindo being thrown in jail in Moscow, Russia. Second, if you see accounts like Eternal Elmo who post videos of how they found Jonthan Galindo's address, they didn't actually do that. They found that specific troll's address, and also it's a high chance that the troll is actually just their friend playing for the video. Then you have this police report, which is supposed to be connected to the Carlos name thing. Apparently he arrested this goofy, when he obviously didn't. Notice how they got rid of the first name, because it's not actually Jonthan Galindo. Also this isn't Jonthan Galindo either. Now, onto the challenge itself. First off, they cannot find your IP. They can find your IP if you go on a suspicious website or if you just flat out tell them. But other than that, they can't find your IP unless they have your browser footprint. And if you're using a VPN, then it'll become even harder to find your IP, nearly impossible. Also, if you go on their profile or you block them or you interact with them, none of those things will help them find your IP at all. I keep seeing posts that say, don't block them or they're gonna find your address, when no, they can't.
I clicked on their profile. Am I in danger?
So yeah, it's pretty obvious, but they can't find your IP, and it's very unlikely that they will. Also, another thing that I think I said earlier was that this video was not intended to give panic attacks, and was instead just made out of boredom. In fact, all of these cosplay photos were all made out of boredom and for fun, and not meant to scare people, which is what everybody's saying. Also, everyone's saying that Jonthan Galindo is based off a creepypasta from like 10 years ago, and I looked it up and I could not find a single piece of evidence to support this. So yeah, the troll accounts most likely will not find your IP address. Also, Jonthan Galindo did not get arrested at all, and also the name Jonthan Galindo does not come from a creepypasta. Now, on to the final topic of this video. What can you, a lobotomite, do to help this cause? Well, the first thing you should do is just not really interact with these Jonthan Galindo accounts in the first place. If you're scared that they're gonna DM you, then just don't like or interact with them. Things like liking, retweeting, commenting, or just following them will make them DM you. Now, if they do decide to DM you, the most important thing to do is to just block them. If you want, you can interact with them, but if you don't feel like really doing anything, then you can just block them. They really can't do anything. I'd say the only bad thing that might happen if you block them is that they'll send more accounts to harass you, and at that point you just might as well just block all of those accounts as well. Please do not click on any links they send you no matter what. They will most likely lead to fishy websites that will try and gather your IP information. Don't believe anything they say. Whatever they threaten that they can do, they really can't. They most likely cannot harm you at all in any way. Do not send them your address at all. So many people seem to be doing this, and that is so stupid. Also, when you see somebody posting something on Twitter or something saying that the Jonthan Galindo accounts are doing something bad, make sure to fact check before believing them immediately. Oftentimes they'll just be flat out wrong and just won't do their research. And the final thing that you want to do if you do end up seeing one of these actual Jonthan Galindo accounts that actually are making people killing themselves, just report them immediately on whatever account that you are on. So if you follow those simple steps, then you should be perfectly fine. Also, if you do have one, please use a VPN. And with that, we come to the conclusion of the story of Jonthan Galindo. I'm sure some stuff may happen after I upload this video, but as for right now, that's pretty much all the information that I was able to gather for this video. I'm hoping you were able to learn a thing or two from this video, and also just remember, don't believe everything that people say. Oftentimes they just won't fact check and they'll just be wrong. That's one of the reasons I made this video. I wanted to disprove a lot of the incorrect info going around. I wanted to also assure people, and I just wanted to tell the entire story in its entirety. So yeah, that's the story of the Blue Whale Challenge and Jonthan Galindo. I hope you guys liked this video, and remember, be safe on the internet.